Hi, I'm Mahila Wilson. This is Straight Answers and Gospel channel. In the past few weeks, we are looking on what is Christian worldview and how our understanding about God, understanding about man and his nature, and how is it shaping our worldview. That's what we have been looking in the past few weeks. So as a starting of our worldview, we are looking into the attributes of who God is, and so in that we are looking into one specific thing, that is omniscience of God, God who is all-knowing. That's what we spoke in the last video. And in this video, I am trying to cover how that understanding of God's omniscience is going to shape our Christian worldview. That's what we are going to be looking in this video. And if you would like to know about that, then continue to watch it. There are only two purposes for this channel. If you are new to this channel, one is to encourage another Christian in their Christian walk, and if you are a non-Christian, we want to introduce you to Jesus Christ. Those are the only two purposes for this channel, and if any one of this purpose interests you, please subscribe to our channel. Again, in the last week video, we spoke about God is omniscience. So what does that mean? God is omniscience means He knows everything. We spoke about that. So He knows actuals, potential, big things, small things, even our thoughts, past, present and future, all in an instant. So that's what we spoke about when we say God is omniscience. That's what we are saying. So how is that going to affect our worldview? And that's what we are going to be seeing. So when we say God is omniscient, then how is that going to affect our origin and meaning of our life? Maybe we can put together those two things to make it understand. So when we say God knows everything, so he created us for a specific purpose, and the person who created us for the specific purpose knows everything. Are we able to do that? Are we going to do that? All those things. He knows everything, but yet He created us. So it makes one thing clear, that we have all the potential need to accomplish our purpose. There is nothing that we don't have that is needed for us to be accomplishing that particular purpose that God has set for us. In that thing we can be sure. And also because God who created us knows everything. And also there is another thing, God who created us knows the worst thing that we could do or we will do. Yet He created you and me, and He created us with a free will. That is another comforting thought, because it's nothing that we ever do is going to be a surprise for Him. He knows everything. In spite of that, He created us with free will. And that is another thought that I wanted to talk about. When we say God is omniscient, how is that going to be affecting our worldview? Another step we wanted to talk about, how is it going to be affecting our morality, right? So God knows everything in two different ways. One, when we say God knows everything, that sets a very high standard for a Christian moral, because God is not only seeing our actions just like another humans, but He also sees our thoughts. He knows our thoughts. So it's not only about what we do, it is also about what is our motive behind what we do. So that is very, very important. It is not only the action of a Christian that is going to be moral or immoral or righteous or sin, but it is the thought of a Christian. It makes sense when Jesus Christ said, like, when you look at a woman with lust, then you already committed adultery. So that means He's saying that it is not only your action that I am interested in, it is your motives, your thoughts that I'm interested in. So we go in a path. When you are a Christian, you are not only looking to do good things, do good deeds, but it is an internal change. We wanted to do certain things, not because we wanted to show it to the world or we wanted to do right, but we wanted to be that person. We want to be that person. Even our thoughts, even our internal beings are changed in the likeness of Christ. So that is what our moral is. But in the same avenue, if you take it in the other direction, sometimes we do a very pure deed, and it is misunderstood by the entire surrounding. Everyone kind of misunderstands this. Have you been in that situation where you do something and it is really good, with a good attitude and good motive? You did something and it is absolutely misunderstood by everyone around you. So in that situation, what we can rest in one thing, that God knows our thoughts, and He knows why we did it, and He knows our motives, and He will never misunderstand us. He cannot misunderstand us because He is seeing our thoughts and motives behind our actions. So in that truth we can rest. That will make you free from thinking about, worrying about other people. Oh, what this person thinks about me, what that person thinks about me, did this person misunderstood my action? Yes, that is important to an extent as a Christian, because we need to live in harmony with our fellow humans. So that is very important for us to make ourselves, explain ourselves when there is a misunderstanding, or try to pursue and make it right. But we don't have to be crippled with that thought of, oh, what this person thought about me, what that person thought about me, what is he thinking about me, what did she misunderstand me. We don't have to be crippled by that thought, because by the end of the day we can rest in this one truth, that God knows not only my action, but He also knows my motives. He also knows my thoughts. In spite of this entire world misunderstanding me for whatever reason, but the God who I really care about, the God whose opinion I am more focused about, He will never misunderstand me. He knows our thoughts and motives. So that is such a freeing thought. If you think deep about it, it is such a freedom that you will experience in that understanding that God knows not only my action, but He also knows my thoughts. So it is like both the extremes. So God knows my thoughts. So it's a scary thing, because it's not only about my action that I need to worry about. Now I have to also train my mind to think the right thing, train myself and change my internal being, not only my outward actions. So it's such a scary thing. At the same time, it is such a freeing thought that God knows my thoughts, my actions, my everything, my past and my present, my future, everything. And I think that is a very important part in Christian worldview when we talk about God's omniscience. And finally, what is our destiny and how is that shaped? I'm not going to talk about heaven and hell in this, but I'm going to be talking about a Christian's future. It's almost like that quote about, we don't know what the future holds, but we know who holds the future. So that is what I'm going to be explaining about. So it is, if you are a Christian and you believe God is omniscient, then we can trust in one thing, that God absolutely knows my tomorrow. I don't know my tomorrow. Nobody knows my tomorrow. Nobody knows their tomorrow. But if you believe God is omniscient, then we can trust in one thing, that this loving God knows my future, knows everything that I will ever cross through. But so I think that is so comforting. That is so that gives so much peace to a Christian, to know that God, who knows everything, is loving me, and He knows what I'm going to pass through, and He is there already. He knows it. He sees it. So that makes our anxiety about your futures like none. We don't have to be anxious about our future, because the God who knows everything already seeing our future. So with that thought, I'm going to leave you this week. So in the coming week, I would like to talk about God is omnipotent. He can do anything that He wants to. He can accomplish anything. He is almighty. If He wanted to do something, there is nothing that He wants to do that He cannot do. How God is all powerful, and we are going to be talking about that and how that is going to affect our Christian worldview. And that's what I'm going to be talking about. And I'm not exactly quoting, but I read a beautiful thought from A.W. Tozer, and it is a book called Knowledge of the Holy. And in that, there is a beautiful thing. It is, when we talk about God's omniscience in Christian view, we are not talking about as though it is a dry knowledge that God knows everything and it is a knowledge. No, we are not talking about that. God knows it compassionately. He knows personally about your life and my life. It is more than just a knowledge, just the pure dry knowledge. It is more like a compassionate knowledge. When it is a difference between one person is reading some scientific fact that is just a dry knowledge, but the person reading a letter from a loved one. There is two different. It's two different things. So that's what when the knowledge is not simply dry knowledge for God. When we talk about our life and what it means, but it is more like a compassionate, personal knowledge of us and our life. So just think a little bit more about that. This is such a beautiful attribute of God, and it shapes Christianity in a very beautiful way. And I wanted to explore more in this and how you think these attributes change your worldview. And I would be interested in knowing your thoughts too, so leave it in your comment section. And if you like this video, please like, share and comment. And if you like all our videos, please subscribe to our channel. And I really want to thank you for you spending your time with us. May God bless you.